Welcome everybody to the live composing show. This is Stephen Melin. Hope you're doing wonderful here today. It is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Welcome. So today we're combining lots of elements. We're actually combining my three worlds. We're combining music for video games, which is the custom music side that I do. We're combining Video Game Music Alliance. Got the mug. Boom. Ready to go today. Because we're doing a Hollow Knight Silksong composing challenge, which is part of Video Game Music Alliance. We're doing that for the month of September. Really excited to hear everybody's entries in that, which we'll be reviewing in a couple weeks as part of our live Q&A, which is going to be super fun. And then the third element is Simple Samples Audio. And today we have two new product releases, the Horror Violin and Horror Cello. And that actually rounds up all of the horror instruments. I've been putting those out for like 3 months now. I forgot how many there are in total. There's probably at least 6, either 6 or 7 horror instruments in general. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Try and get ready for October. Try and get ready for the Halloween season. And that way, now that everything's released, everyone can hear it all and hear all the demos and all the live streams and all that kind of stuff and get ready for, the Halloween stuff. And there's a lot of horror productions, whether it's podcast or films or video games. There's a lot of stuff that comes out in the next 30 days, 60 days that hopefully that'll be a really great resource for whoever is interested in that kind of stuff. And so today we're combining all three of those worlds. We're going to be doing a live score here today, a rescore of Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, I don't know about you guys. The Silksong community is crazy. The Hollow Knight in general is crazy. But, I was one of the early adopters. I loved Hollow Knight when it first came out, and I've replayed it several times since then. I actually replayed it again, not knowing that Silksong was coming out this year. I replayed it again earlier this year and had so much fun with it. And so, this was a huge surprise with September 4th. That was Silksong Day when it just released, and I've been playing it nonstop since. I don't even know how many hours I've put into that thing already, probably 30 or 40 already. It's a big game. And it just, every time I think that I've, uncovered the whole map, there's like a whole nother section. It's just so big. Hey, what's up, Chu? Alex, Sarah, a bunch of others popping in here. Glad you guys are here. It's going to be a fun day. And my goal is over the next couple of hours is to write a new piece of music featuring these new sample libraries with Simple Samples Audio that kind of leans into the horror sound design realm, but also, this is Hollow Knight, so it has to be melodic and it has to be a little colorful and a little cartoony. There's a nice blend here that's going to happen, and I'm excited to explore these sounds with you. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a viable piece of music. And if you're wondering, what do I do with all this music? I always try to reuse my music as much as possible in as many contexts as possible. So obviously, let's talk about today. I'm writing a track for Silksong. So I'm doing the composing challenge for Video Game Music Alliance. That's one checkbox. I'm doing a live stream. That's great. Draws in more people, grows the audience, and get to show you guys kind of an education of how not how everybody does it, but how I write music for a living every day. So that's kind of checkbox number 2. Checkbox 3 is obviously we're releasing new Simple Samples library, so it functions as a demo track for that as well as a live stream. So that's checkbox number 3. And the fourth one is I reuse all the tracks that I write. I use these for game music packs that I sell on Unity Asset Store, itch.io, Game Dev Marketplace, etc. And so my hope in sharing that is if you are a composer trying to make a living supporting your family, like my book right here, back there, can't point, there it is. mirror image. Like Family First Composer, I teach you guys this whole process of do one action and then let it reap multiple income sources. So by writing one piece of music, doing it live on camera with you guys, it knocks out so many, checks so many of the boxes. And it's only one activity for a couple hours, but in doing so, it has this multiplicity effect. And then I can sell for licensing the music for video games around the clock when I'm not actively working on music. So it's a really great business model, and I encourage you guys to copy it as much as you're able to and see if it works for you. Anyway, what's up, Jordan? Glad you're here, man. And Alex says, where do we enter and find rules to enter? Okay, so Alex, this is a Video Game Music Alliance pro group composing challenge. So it is part of our pro group. It's kind of an exclusive thing. And we do open up every few months, a few times a year. We open up to new members. So please watch out for that. And if you're not yet on our email list, just a little shameless plug here. Let me actually find a link for you. I've actually had a lot of emails this week about this exact topic, which is kind of cool. I'm just going to pop up this kind of general link for you, Mr. Alex. Boom. And that's just videogamemusicalliance.thinkific.com. So that's our course website. There are some free courses on there. That's why I'm sharing that. Go jump into any of the free courses and you'll automatically be added to our email list. And then from there, you'll be the first to be notified when we open up again. We only do it for a couple of days, usually 3 days. And we like to have a very smooth and personal onboarding process. It's not just, hey, good luck, have fun. No, we really try to like get you plugged into exactly the content that you need to be working through. Let's find out where you're at in your journey. That way, you know, if you don't need to be working on the basics of how to write music, let's not focus on that. If you're ready to start selling music packs, okay, let's talk about that. Let's, you know, if you're ready to start reaching out to clients and actually working on contracts, let's talk about that. Everyone's in a very different place in their career when they join, so it's important that we make that customized. So anyway, hopefully you can get in for the next one and do the next composing challenge with us. That should be awesome. And yeah, just a little behind the scenes. Guys, I'm so scatterbrained right now, so just bear with me. I'm on the recovery end of a really nasty week of cold in my family. The back to school crud, even though we're homeschool. It just happens, right? One person gets sick and then we all get sick. So right here, this is actually our inside Video Game Music Alliance. This is our sound effects only game clip archive. This is the clip we're doing today, which is Hollow Knight Silksong. And I've actually painstakingly gone through every single one of these games and recorded them at 60 FPS, 1080p, MP4. And it's not the highest quality imaginable, but it is the perfect quality to be used in any DAW when you're rescoring. That's the whole point. And they have the sound effects on, but no music. And there's more coming. And what we tried to do is every single month we pop between one of the different genres. So like this month, where are we? This month is Metroidvania. So next month might be a platformer. Next month might be a puzzle. Next month might be a racing game, and then a roguelike, and then an RPG. We've done a lot of RPGs. So we're trying to, but I mean, there's so many RPGs, good RPGs out there. And we might do a shooter game. We might do a Souls-like. We might do a survival game. Like, it's so beneficial to rescore because it checks a lot of those boxes. With one activity, you're knocking out so many different things. You're building your portfolio. You're creating new game music packs. You are connecting on a very practical level, putting your music to footage of a popular game. It now becomes very search-friendly on YouTube, very search-friendly when you're talking to game developers, and they're like, hey, I really love Star Fox 64. That was my favorite game as a kid. No way, that was one of my favorite games too. Here's a clip that I rescored last month as part of VGMA. You want to check it out? Yeah, let's check it out. Right, and then like that could actually turn into real work. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let's move on. Zetaraku has a question. Do you recommend any earbuds for when out in the city exercising instead of headphones? Oh, heck yeah. I'm a big AirPods guy. I love the Gen 4 because they're noise canceling. Transparency mode, so it only cancels a little bit so that when you're out I'm a runner. When I'm out running, actually run with the dog every morning. Yeah, I need to be able to hear if like a car is going or, you know, dogs barking or something. Yeah, it's kind of important. So transparency mode for the win. And I play a lot of Steam Deck as well, portable, handheld, or on the TV, whatever. And yeah, those things are amazing because they're Bluetooth. And they automatically connect to the phone, or if I'm on Steam Deck, connects to there. It's amazing. Big fan. Now, for music production, heck no. Heck no. Earbuds are terrible. This is just a bad idea. Headphones in general are kind of a bad idea if you're making music. But I understand I have a big family, and sometimes it gets loud, so I use these guys. These are $2,000, right? You have to spend a lot of money to get quality headphones that are actually worth having for mixing purposes. And for this show, obviously, I'm using headphones, so these are the best ones I've found. Yamaha something or others. Also have, I don't wear these as much. These are what do you call these? That's where the sound comes out. Open back, yeah, open back headphones. These are the Grado Labs. The reference series RS2E. Those are pretty awesome. Way cheaper, but they're cool because they're like leather. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. So these. Sorry, I said Yamaha. Yamaha does not make good headphones. Sorry, I lied. Sony, still from Japan. These are the MDR Z1R. They're really cool. I'm gonna show you real quick. Look at the shape of the, what do you call that? The speaker, I guess. It's in the shape of a flower petal. You probably can't see it. It's not going to focus enough, but you kind of, there you go. You can kind of see it. It is based on the golden ratio. So it's like the perfect ratio of the disbursement of sound. These are freaking believable. I've tried a lot of headphones and nothing has ever come close to these as far as like fidelity of sound. Anyway, I'm so off topic today. But yeah, I mean, I love YouTube Live because we can have conversations like this. It's not scripted. I think that's important. Anyway, please pardon my sniffles today. I'm going to do my best to make it through. Okay, let me show you what we're looking at today. 2 new libraries with Simple Samples Audio. This is the Horror Violin and then the Horror Cello. These are pretty awesome. If you're into horror music or just like sound designy stuff, you should really take a look at these. I try to price them as low as I can, but also know that we pay a fair royalty to every single purchase to the musicians that are involved. So, you know, if you want all the details, you can go through here. But basically, these are here's how I described it. Horror Violin and Horror Cello. It's a collection of terrifying avant-garde techniques recorded by the musician on violin or cello, designed for use in haunting, video game, and film scores. So in this case, we have 13 patches. You can see the full list there. Spider Tremolo, Spooky Gliss, Rising Tension, Bow Pressure, Colenia, Ricochets, blah, blah, blah. And then this is the most important part to me. This is recorded by my favorite violinist on planet Earth. I started working with him early in his career, early in my career. Like for the last 7-8 years, we've been working together. He's recorded on everything I've done, just about. And he is phenomenal. And the world has picked him up, and he's now played on everything major. If you play video games, you've heard his music. Helldivers 2, Star Wars Outlaws. That's one I did last week. Star Wars Outlaws. Mortal Kombat 11, Kingdom Hearts 2, Final Fantasy 15, and so many more. So he's now like the Square Enix violinist. You hear him on everything. He's now Will Roger. All of his games. It's amazing, and I'm just so proud of him. Mateus is the bomb, and I try to hire him as much as humanly possible. So the fact that we got to make a sample library together is just the coolest thing in the world. Now, you might be wondering, okay, dude, it's a horror violin. Anyone can do that. Like, give a 3-year-old a bow and a violin, and they'll make it sound like a horror violin. Now, that's true. That's pretty true. But what's unique about this library, though, is it captures his unique playing styles. And he actually came up with some playing styles I've never heard. And I am a violin player, mind you. Some of this stuff is, like, creepy stuff. Take a listen. So what's cool about this is it really shows off his professionalism, that he could play so badly, but so intentionally and with such cool sound designy effects. So that's the Horror Violin. We'll poke at that in a minute. And the Horror Cello, very similar. This is by Andrew Dunn, who's my go-to cellist, of equal caliber. He's amazing. God of War, Final Fantasy 15, Destiny 2, Call of Duty, Spider-Man, Fortnite. Come on. I mean, all the big games. Very similar kind of story. I've been working with him again since kind of the beginning of his career, and he's just shot off, and it's so cool. So very similar. He just has some really cool techniques on here that I've never heard before. You can tell it's recorded by a pro, even though it sounds like scratchy. Anyway, you can poke through that stuff, and there's all the articulations right there. Different types of sustains, tremolos, harmonic sweeps, bends, chaos stabs, Bartok pits, hammer pits, pressure opens, soltosto opens, wood knocks, pits, strum. Really cool stuff. And I'm not going to dare use all of it today. I'll use like 1 or 2 patches in our rescore today, but I just wanted to let you know about what this is. And if you're interested in these, they're both 38% off right now for limited time. Those are the only ones on sale at the moment, cello and violin. And if you've missed the previous streams this year, we've also released horror dulcimer, clarinet, flute, the horror piano, which is from earlier this year. And the original library that started it all was the horror harp. That's actually how I started this whole business, which is still very good and useful. And it's kind of set the tone for all of these crazy horror instruments, because to this day it's the most popular by far. I don't know why, but it is. I think legato viola is up there too. It's just some of these just click with people. But the ambient scoring series has done really well too. Anyway, let's make some music. Yeah, I'm like crazy distracted today. Am I stalling? Maybe. Nah, I'm ready to write some music. Okay, so Silksong, I do not want to, I can't spoil this game. It's too good. It's just full of surprises. Everywhere you go, there's secrets upon secrets upon secrets, and there's death traps waiting for you in every corner. And every time you think you're safe and you can finally breathe and sit down on a bench, it tries to kill you, or an enemy comes out of nowhere, and it's just absolutely lovely. It is hardcore to the core. It just reminds me of all my favorite games. If anything, it's more like Dark Souls 1 than any of the others. If you've played Hollow Knight, this one is like 3 times harder. From the beginning, it's hard, and I love that about it. And you just die all the time, and, you know, get angry and have to take breaks. And it's still fun, though, because you keep unlocking rewards and keep unlocking... You know, the game feedback loop just keeps you going. All right, let's take a quick little listen just to kind of see what the heck this game's about. So essentially, you are this character, Hornet, a type of bug called a weaver, who spins silk, which is like your magic power. You have this little pin, like your little needle. Fight the bad guys. Yeah, Chris Larkin is flippin' amazing composer. And he does all the sound design and all the voices, which is incredible. All right, so you're in this moss grotto level. Eventually, if we make it far enough, there is a boss battle. The very first one. It's very easy by Silksong standards, but it just kind of gets your feet wet. All right, load. Cool thing about a good game like this is it doesn't even need music. Yeah, I know the video's loud, so let me turn it down. Thank you. Once I put music in, though, it's going to be loud again. The cool thing about a game like this is it has so much vibe and atmosphere, and there actually is sound. So like there is a vibe. It doesn't need music. You could play this entire game without music, and it would work. And that's just a master game. It has succeeded because there's enough visual going on. There's enough ambience. There's enough. The sound design is so compelling. It's almost very musical. It's made by a composer, so that actually makes sense. But music then is the emotional, I guess, frame around the picture, and it just kind of gives us a little bit more context, subtext, if you will, for what is the actual story of the game. What are the characters feeling? What kind of reaction should we have? Should we be tense? Should we be like terrified? Because there's some parts of this game which are just terrifying. And, you know, you're in pitch black darkness walking around with your little lantern, and there's something ready to kill you every step. And you're on 1 health, and you're like 10 minutes away from a save point, and it's just terrifying. And that's so like the dark ambience and like very slow cello music, whatever, like it really helps, and it puts you on edge. So like music can really help do that. But there's also some parts of this game that it's really light and pretty, and that helps sell it. So I know for a fact in this area, any of the green areas of the game, with moss or with grass or whatever, they're much lighter, and they're major keys, and they're very patty and airy. Lots of bells, lots of woodwinds, solo woodwinds, piano with lots of reverb, that type of sound, which is quite distinct, which is opposite from all the battles, which are actually string quartets, which is super cool, and like string ensemble. It's all live this time. First game, none of it was live, or very, very little of it was live, just some live solos. But this game, they have a budget, and they went all in, 100% live music, which is just phenomenal. So I'm going to try to match that tone with some of these items here. So right before the stream, I came up with a couple sounds. So this is from Horror Violin. This is probably going to be the patch people use the least, but for whatever reason, it was very inspiring for me. I call it the pizzaphone. Some delay on it. It sounds like a harp harmonic. So I came up with this little riff here at the beginning. It's slow. Because you're in this unknown place. Like you're in this cave. You wake up in a cave. Like, what the heck is going on? So that's kind of the starting idea I wanted to run with today, and then we'll poke around with some different effects here. I feel like this is really good filler. Any of these horror instruments are going to really excel at atmospheric sounds. So this is the cello. These are all real sounds. This is with no effects, which is what only a pro can do. Like, this is with his bow just playing super high on the bridge. Like, a beginner can't do that. It's too meticulous. So, I like that a lot. It definitely needs something. So these knobs are here to help douse it in different effects that are tasteful. And the shimmer is Valhalla shimmer. The delay is a quarter note delay. I like that. It helps that there's like the dripping of the water effects, and there's like this nice forest ambience already. It's subtle. purist. I like to bounce everything to audio, and then I can actually see what's going on. And as I suspected, those patches are just quiet. So let me get them. For whatever reason, the way I played it was just super quiet. So I like it so far. It's very chill. Let me take off the sound effects. So this is the spider tremolos. I love these. Definitely need some love. Also just going to throw it in some normal reverb without being all shimmery. Let's do. I'm going to ride the mod wheel to give it some dynamics. Trying to like not play all the sounds at the same time. This one just got so quiet, it's crazy. This makes like horror scoring, tension scoring so much easier. I like that one a lot. Let's go ahead and bounce it. Get the volume and placement right. That's what's nice about doing audio. Really put it where you want it and do your fades. I feel like this guy, just the entire patch, needs bit of reverb as well. Already set up here. Alright, I'm gonna try to line this one up with the pitch. Yeah, like that. That's pretty cool. So let's take, what's up, Cybot? Same thing, I want to get some Aether. Like how short that one was. Let's bounce it. Boom. So probably here's a nice B section. This will be our A section. Boom. So we just need, I gotta go into like the pad territory here. Let me actually grab, so we call it synth pad, ambient scoring pads. This is another simple samples library you guys should look into. It's right here, simple. Let me find it. Ambient scoring pad. So what we want is either a drone or a chord. Let me grab this one. This is designed for this exact purpose. And we're on C minor. Yeah, isn't that nice? Ooh, that's nice already, just out of the box. Love that. So let's drop that in over here, but only at this part. Here we go. We'll drop the octave here in a second. Cool. Now, let's take that so we can manipulate it as needed. I'm going to quantize everything perfectly to quarter notes, except for maybe this one. So that when it replays, it doesn't get caught. And let's bounce that. Pretty cool sound, though. I like that a lot. I'm not sure if I've ever actually written a track with that one yet. And we're just going to call that rendered. All right, let's make that a blue so that it looks like it's audio. There we go. The reason I do that is to have full control. I can do things like this, like a little fade in, fade out, especially here at the end. And that will probably be my loop today. That's right at 1.5 minutes. That's dead on 1:30 because I started 2 seconds. Actually, I started at 4 seconds in. That's a really good loop amount. So we'll set our looper there, turn it on, so that when it goes here, it has a nice loop. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce this as well and do a little EQ work on it to make it a little bit less annoying, I guess is the word for it. So I'm going to throw EQ on that track. Here's what I want to do. Let me just play it for a second solo. It's a cool sound. Yes, Bailey, it's super new. It's 2 weeks old. See how it hiss? I'm going to get rid of that. I just want to focus on the mids. Look at it. Yeah, it looks cleaner. That's what I wanted, to be more lowy. Yeah. It's also just loud. I'm going to pull a Chris Larkin here and pull out the harp. But I don't just want a single harp. I actually want a harp ensemble, which is a very specific thing. Let me find, this is a really cool patch. Don't go buy this because it's pointless, but like, I just love it. This was one of those impulse purchases many years ago. I just don't use it a lot, but it'll be perfect for this moment. It's from 8DO, but you know what? 8DO has been, I don't know if they're going out of business or what, but they're selling stuff like they're going out of business. They're selling stuff at like 80, 90% off, like all the time. Buy everything for $5. It's kind of insane and sad, and I don't really know what's going on over there. But if you need the stuff, go get it. And if you're if you're a VGMA member, you get it 50% off anyway. So, and it stacks because it's an exclusive deal we have with them. So you could literally get everything for like $5. Okay. Disclaimer over. Where was I? So, and that's not even, I'm not even trying to sell VGMA right now. I'm just saying, if you're already a VGMA member, come take advantage. We have some insane partnerships that are exclusive, which means they actually stack on top of whatever they're doing on their website, which is already crazy. Anyway, all that to say, you know, if it really is like $5, go grab this. It's called the New Acoustic Grand Ensembles Age, Volume 2. It's very wordy, but it's harps. Look, it's cimbalum ensemble, harp ensemble, marimba ensemble, wind chime ensemble. Pointless. Who needs this ever? Nobody needs this, but it's so cool because it's a harp ensemble. So if you've played Abzu, Austin Winery score, the underwater scuba diver game, which is basically Journey underwater, that is mostly a harp ensemble, and that's what this sounds like. But it's so cool for moments like this, and it's really large and awful, but it sounds like gold, and this is why I bounce everything to audio, so I don't have to deal with all this nonsense. It's so nice. Again, PSA, don't go buy this. It's just different. It's a different vibe than just a single harp. Like, this is a whole room of harps playing at the same time. It has a weight, a gravitas to it, but also the mystical. Have I mentioned I used to sell sample libraries? I was the guy that made the demos. I can make anything sound good, so shh, don't tell my secret. Anyway, this is just a pretty sound. Especially like the harmonics. But that's not the sound I want for this one. I feel like that's going to be a perfect fit. So, harp ensemble. Like an off kilter. So the C is going to establish the bass. But I want to stay on the D to give it some tension. With one hand. Look at me, pianist at heart. Can't take it away from me. Because I can. No, that's a dumb reason. Dumb reason. All right, let's let this little kind of establish. Then do the harp. Let's do 2 passes. Here we go. Here we go. I will try to sell you this pad though. It's so good. They were intentionally made to dodge common like frequency problems. What's nice about this is like out of the box I can just play the pad. I don't have to EQ it to death. It intentionally avoids all the mid and high range. It's just this nice low thud. I don't really have to do anything to it, which is nice. It just saves some time. And it sits really cleanly in the mix without any issues. These are 16ths, right? I'll quantize the fronts, but not the backs of each of the notes. It's a really cool harp sound. It's not fitting yet, so I'm going to add stereo delay. It's my secret weapon. It's my hack for most things. If you want something to sound cool and different, throw some delay on it. Usually does the trick. Especially if something doesn't quite fill the space. This is going to fill the space pretty well because it fills the dead space, right? Here it is. It's a little too much. Yeah. I think I'm going to add that low C as well. Right here. Let's do like some. Yeah, there it is. Isn't that cool? This is with no percussion, by the way. This is cool and just loud. Let's do like -5. And a bit more of a fade in. Okay, this is cool. It's a nice transition, but it's lacking energy. Donkey Kong is showing. All right. I've had the incredible honor of working with the legend David Wise. And that was the #1 thing I picked up working with him is that he always finds a way to sneak in a melody or to sneak in like an arp, usually like a bell or a harp or something. And it's just stuck with me. And I lean into that a little bit more now. And I think it's so fun. This is a good moment for that. Something. Why not? I have my click on, dang it. Whoops, let me try again. Here we go. Yeah, that's nice. What'd you say, Jordan? Chris, don't feel bad. I just bought the first one. The first what? Oh, the age, the volume. Yeah. Well, ADO is crazy right now. I hope they stay in business. ADO was some of my very first stuff. A lot of my first libraries. And obviously, I still use many of them. Adagietto for the win, man. That's still my favorite string library. It's so old. It's like 15 years old, but it's perfection for what I do for game scoring. Not the only string library I use, but it's the one I start with. Thanks, Bailey. Yeah, dude, Cubase is everything. I don't understand why people don't use it more. And I can see some value in, like, Digital Performer has the chunks feature, which is unique and special and, like, worthy of TV scoring and album scoring. Cool. I get it. Pro Tools, fine. It's the industry standard. I get why people use it. It's just clunky. It's old. It's so buggy. But besides that, Ableton. Okay, if you're an Ableton user, great, good for you. It's vertical scoring. Cool. There's a time and place for that. I think that's awesome and creative and interesting. Cool, validated. But everything else, like, I cannot see why people use Studio One. I cannot see why people use Logic. I cannot see, because Cubase does all of those things and better, in my opinion. For game scoring especially. It's the winner, hands down, and I've never seen anything else like it. So I agree with you. Of course, that's my opinion. If you can make great music in Reaper, okay, fine. But you're going to have a harder time doing it. You just got to go through 7 steps instead of the 1. Yeah, Jordan, the horror landscape is so broad. I mean, you can play instruments in so many unique ways. And every player, every musician will play aleatoric stuff differently as well. So, for example, Kyle Paxton, the guy who did the Hammer Dulcimer for the horror Dulcimer, he came up with techniques he has never played in his entire career. He's like, I was so inspired when I was doing this session that I just grabbed my EBow and started doing it on the Dulcimer. And he grabbed, like, coins, like loose change, and, like, threw it on there and started whacking it. Tried different materials and whacking it and scrubbing it, and, like, he's like, I've never done this before. This was so much fun. And then I had to chop up, like, hours of stuff, which is crazy. But that's the fun of this, is, like, there's, like, an infinity of creativity. You just got to go try stuff, you know? There's a lot of value in libraries that are samples, because they're, like, little phrases, and they're going to be unique. Of course, you can always go buy your own Dulcimer and scrub it down yourself if you want. All right, where was I? I'm just getting so lost in these comments today. Cool. Obviously, it's pretty barren, but I like that a lot. Where are you, Spooky Gliss? Where are you hiding? I'm trying to make this more like melodic and musical than scary. Let me try some other ones here. Some of these are, like, clearly, like, jump scare kind of stuff. You can also reverse all the patches, which is cool. I like that one. I'd rather run it through my own reverb, though. Like this. Let's try Realm. That's cool. Dude, reversing horror sound effects is just as cool, if not cooler, than the bass sounds. All I gotta do is push the key switch, and it toggles it on all these patches. That was something we added a long time ago. Here we go. So this is honestly, I'm just gonna well, this is HV Colenio reversed. That's what makes that special. We'll just do a little bounce there. Please, please, please. I need to make a YouTube video about this officially. It's on my list of to-dos. I have 5,000 to-dos though. That's the problem. And it's not the most important of my to-dos. I want to make a video about the value of working with audio instead of MIDI, and how much more versatile it is, and how much of a better mix you can get just by working on this practice of every time you write something, bounce it to audio, and then work with the audio instead of the MIDI. And you can just, this is what you have to do for sound design. This is the way I learned this, doing sound design for video games, is because you make the original patch and then you start manipulating it and you keep making iterations of it. And in doing so, the final product is wildly different than the original, and that can really help. Because then I can individually change the volume of that one little region and control all the effects of it, or the fades. Or just move the timing. Like, I can move this exactly where I want it. Which is better than any of the MIDI I would have done. And I can also do stuff like this. I can do time stretching, which you can't do with MIDI. Ugh, Cubase, freaking love you. Like, you can't do this in any other DAW. You can kind of do it in Pro Tools, but it's a little clunky. They do have a tool for that, but then you just start to, it just gets clunky. You just hold down the mouse, the cursor, and you can do sizing, applies, time stretch, and then just manipulate the garbage out of clips. And I do this constantly when I'm putting live soloists back into my mixes, because people don't play on time, like, ever. Even the best players, they're, you know, a 30-second note off or whatever, and you can just take this and zoop, just drag it, and it'll actually auto-conform to your grid, if you have your grid on right there. See, on, off. Cool. And then you can do stuff like this. You can transpose just that one clip, -12, an octave lower. Let's do -6. No, you can pitch match stuff. Although I don't really like it. Just showing you what you can do. I'm not saying Cakewalk is bad. I mean, there's plenty of DAWs out there, but just, you really owe it to yourself to give Cubase like a free trial. You can go grab it for like a month, I think. Go play with it for a week. You're gonna hate it. Everyone hates new things for about 3 or 4 days. Doesn't matter what it is. Any new piece of software, I hate it immediately because it's not the thing I've been using my whole life. So give yourself like a week and try to write one piece of music. Give yourself a whole week. Work on it every day. What's going to happen is, yeah, you're going to have to look up 1,000 YouTube tutorials on like, where is the thing that should be right there? Once you can kind of get into the workflow, Cubase, it's a German engineered product, so it's very efficient. And I've been really leaning into German products lately because of that mentality. Most German products are efficient first, quality second, but efficient first, which, as a composer, it's all about speed, which is efficiency. I can make better music faster because the tools do exactly what I need them to do the first time without mistakes, and it doesn't crash on me. Like, it's rare for Cubase to crash. Every DAW is going to crash at some point. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and I probably will. That's another video on my log of, but it's like number 5 in my list of videos that I need to make. Is like, why is Cubase the best? But obviously, it's going to be an opinion at the end of the day. See, Bailey. All right, let's get some bells up in her. La, da, da, da. Bells. Z. What do I want? I want some bells. I'm just going to do the thing where I do the first thing that pops up in my list. Oh, bad. That was a bad guess. Contact. Probably gamelan, honestly. Where's my gamelan at? The Javanese. No. Bad. All right, let me go grab the real thing. It's from Impact Soundworks. It's very good. It's the Javanese gamelan. This is a really cool patch if you ever do ethnic music. It's only one patch. Should be cheap. But it's also a big patch, so I probably need to purge it once it arrives at the factory. Well, until then. Yeah, Chris, you should totally just try it. Just try it. You know, set aside all judgments and just try it for a week. And if you hate it, okay, fine, you tried it. But maybe you might discover a thing or two that's like, whoa, that's really cool. And I have nothing against Logic. I used to use Logic when I was a Mac guy, and it makes sense for Mac people because it's, you know, accessible. It does have a few cool pros to it, like it has an entire audio catalog that you can drag and drop samples, but that can't be the reason you use something. Maybe starting off. To me, it's the same thing as Cubase, but worse. But that's just me. Again, I'm being totally biased here. All right, so here's the Javanese gamelan. Yeah, see that nasty amount of memory it's already using and haven't even played any notes? Purge all samples. Where are you? I actually use this a lot in Aethermancer. For whatever reason, people so far, the playtesters and the team, their favorite track has been the very first track of the game. It's a lot of this. It's just a gamelan. Whatever it is. This nice ethnic vibe because it's all of these instruments being played at the same time. For those unaware, a gamelan is it's an ensemble of like percussive bells from Indonesia. So everyone in the room plays at the same time. And that's what this is. It's always slightly out of tune. Which is just lovely. Just need some support. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna call that gamelan. Not the bells, and I don't think it recorded anything. Awesome. Great. Play. So loud. Little bells. They need some love over here. A couple things. Let's put them in Aether like everybody else, which is my reverb. And I'm thinking of stereo delay, the same one as the harp. Let's just copy it and see if it sounds good. Yeah. thing about bells is you should use them very sparingly. They can just be annoying if you're not careful. You can only do with audio as pitch. Helps, doesn't it? I put more reverb on those. I needed it. It's like that one just needs to need a little scoop. Call it a day. So naked. There's like nothing happening. I'm thinking of some bell. See you, Sarah. Like some little gamelan melody. I want a gamelan bass. Why? Yeah, just cuz. But I want it to be slightly more aggressive delay, so it has more of a pulse to it. And as such, different EQ. Alright, here we go. So I want it to start here. it's repetitive, but that was the point. Because then there's a nice pause. And we get here. All right, I'm gonna grab another pad. So that's like my synth bass, essentially. You can't see. There we go. All right, we're gonna do synth bass. And then this other one's gonna be an actual pad this time. But for this one, let's grab, I guess I don't need all that. Let's do an actual synth this time, or like a pad. Where are you? Ambient scoring pads. Yeah. That's cool. Let's tame it down though. Here we go. Just pull it down like 8. We'll do a small. I'm actually not going to do a crescendo at all. For simplicity, I'm just going to take this, drag it across the world, and then chop it off. Bar 23. And just let the audio do the work. I'm actually not even going to kill the volume. I'm literally just going to balance it so I have the audio to work with and I can do all the fun stuff there. That way there's just not messing with the original. Okay, come on. There we go. So what I'm going to do over here, we're going to make sure it starts right on the beat. We're just going to fade it in a little bit. Go ahead and turn it way down, like -10. And then the end, of course, has to have some kind of fade out. Spraying it out. too fast. Pace, like it doubles time. So let's do this. Like this is just, it all happens too fast. Straight up ear fatigue. Really can only handle about 4 of those harps. I like the idea. That's basically where we gotta switch it to a wind melody of some sort. Let's get it all in there. Like this part. Switch it. So I'm actually just gonna cheat a little bit here and literally take this pad. This is the other thing about audio. You can just take this, transpose, do a little fade, fade. We're back in business like never happened. And this just stays in C. I guess it was on A flat, so then we'll do A flat major, B5 major, just transpose up by 2 and we're done. A little audio wizardry. We should be good. Let's listen. Yeah, there it is. There, we just changed the key. So let's, when in doubt, kill it. Literally copy paste that again. Oops, have to actually chop it, don't I? Bam, 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 bam. Audio for the win. Audio for the win. It's just the best thing ever. Best thing ever. All right. That will only work if I make sure the first time does not do that. So let's go ahead and get some chords in here. This is now A flat to the B flat to the C minor. That's just kind of our basic, it's a very basic chord progression, but it works in an area like this that just needs simplicity. Really needs simplicity because, yeah, first area of the game, we don't need to just hit us over the head with too much melody or too much atmosphere. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. All right. Simplicity always wins. Promise you. I've had so many tracks rejected over the years because it got too complex. This is what game devs want. That one, I can make it interesting by doing a 16th note. No, no, no. That's more interesting. All right, you say notation. Alex, you talking about like sheet music within Cubase? I never, ever use it, so I don't even know. There's a button here somewhere for that. I literally never use it, so I'm sure there's some YouTube tutorials in that. But it connects well with Sibelius. Well, it used to. Before Avid bought it, so I'm not really sure what any of that looks like now. When I make sheet music, I just export all the MIDI from Cubase and then open it up in Sibelius and do my own custom scores and go from there. There it is. All right. In all of its simple glory. To grab some kind of flute or something. Let me try something here. This could be a complete fail, probably. You never know. Have a wild idea. Let us. It's gonna take me a second to get there. I just recorded a bunch of flute for another project, and I'm wondering if I could repurpose something from there. If not, if it's just a complete fail, then it's a fail. But let me try audio, mono, flute. Let me just see. Let me just see, okay? This could be a complete fail. You just never know. So we're gonna just see. Let me play the piano. So what if we did all right, so we're gonna take everything and go down 4 half steps. And then we're just gonna play with it. Okay, let's see what kind of magic cray we can do here. Hey now, no changing color. Oh my gosh, what a difference. I love that. I just love that so much. That's so great. And I own all the music, so I can do this if I want. I've made sure to buy rights whenever I have music recordings. But what we're gonna do is see, this is where the beauty of time stretching. So it's kind of what I'm going for. Bum, bum. So we're gonna go to beat 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is gonna be. Nice. And so let's get it all. So what I'm going to do is move these. 1, 2, 3. Dun. Get my count right. So it goes. Right? It's worth it. You're going to hear it at the end and say, yeah, that was worth it. All right. All right, so where this comes in. So I take the sizing, stretch it to the next beat, and then I take crossfade. This is essentially what sample libraries do. They just do it within contact, behind the scenes. The same thing but with clarinet. Also recorded a bunch of clarinet recently, and I think that would work really well. So let's do this one. Same thing. What did we do? Like -3. Oh, I was in the wrong. That's why. Okay. Let's just do a little taste test. For those unaware, that's from the Araduna soundtrack. Samuel Da Silva, phenomenal woodwind player. All right, so... these are just from recent live recordings with soloists, the flute and clarinet, and I'm just trying to repurpose them. My lesson for there is, if you own the rights to your recordings, by all means do that. Just don't use the melodies from your other games. But it's a really good way to get some live flair without, not trying to say don't record a soloist, but you need a good clarinet sound and you don't want to use a sample. So I'm gonna go. So we're gonna do. Let's grab this one. So I'm basically just looking at the waveform to try to grab some of the longer notes. Takes a little guess. No, don't do this for everything. I also don't want to do very long phrases for breathing purposes. That one's a bit of a stretch, but it's okay. It should be unrecognizable. This one. Let's go down. Turn that down about 3. Yeah. Also gonna stretch it just a little bit. Test run. We're getting there. Biggest thing that I felt was the woodwinds. they need to be spread out, and they need to like breathe, kind of call and response with the harp instead of getting in the way. Otherwise, they felt like too crowded. But otherwise, I think it's coming along. So let's work on just that part. It's like this whole thing, honestly, just needs to be like scooted over. This whole thing can be scooted over. Also, the harp is too loud. I think it's a cool idea, though. It's beautiful. That's all it needs. So let's work on that. Yeah. Come on. Might do that later, but for now, I just want to take that and stretch it ever so slightly to be about that long. Do a big decrescendo on it. And then let's use our grid on quarter notes to really get these in time with our stretching tool. It's really nice because you can just do quarter note, quarter note, quarter note. Not you, move. There. Then when we do our crossfades, everything is way more natural because everything's on time. It's quite awesome. There it is. Here it is in context. Should sound great. Sounds live to me. That'd be a good spot for it. Play around a little bit. It's too low. I need a different method of grabbing these. So here's the whole phrase. I basically just need to find the lowest notes. Got this, guys. All right. Whew. Takes a lot of editing, but it's worth it. So thank you for your patience. I'm doing these all too high. So what would be 4? No. Okay, I can work with that. All right, friends. So I'm gonna put the grid back on and all right, game on. I know that took forever, but it's worth it when you have it. This was just fresh in my mind. I know I could make it work, so that's why I spent all the time doing that. And with a little crossfade action, you can really make it work. So these two need to be louder to make those a little bit more uniform, like that. Let's see if it actually works. Oh my gosh. It works. That one's a little rough. Hey, welcome back. You missed all the dumb stuff. Where I spent forever crossfading these little takes. I think I got it though. So now, because I'm particular about it, I'm gonna make this 7, 4. It's actually too early. Go figure. Okay, time to move on with my day. Jeez. This is the actual loop spot. Darn. it's the better loop spot. There's really no point in extending it further. So I'm going to take everything. Kill your darlings. I'm actually going to go ahead and take this, move it over, take a little bit of sonic interest. And then all of this just needs to go bye-bye. And then we'll take the pads, just do a slight fade out, just barely, to make a good loop. Here it is. Kill the last few for a better loop. Yeah, there we go. There it is. It's done. Yahoo! Okay, so the way that I export this guy is turn off the sound effects. It actually already loops perfectly without having to have reverb tail, so that's nice. What's our BPM? 60? It's really 120, but I wrote it at 60. Oh well. So what we're gonna do is call this. Ooh, what's a good name for this trackball? Just gonna go ahead and say loop. Overgrown cavern. And this is gonna be, I'll go ahead and put exploration. It's an exploration track. And it is 120 beats per minute. 48K 24-bit. Let us export it. And we'll test it out. kill the music, but now I want to test it with the actual video. So let's go over here, grab an Audacity session, throw it in there. You'll notice it auto snaps because I have the BPM in the title, and then I can just do another version. I can test the loop. There it goes. It's good to go. And I can do that multiple times if I wanted to. Now I know it's a good loop. And then let's grab the actual gameplay footage, and then we can just leave it running and see if it all actually works. Yeah? Let's do it. We can do over here in Audacity, you can grab the real-time effects, and while it's playing, let's act like we just walked into the cave, and then I'll turn it on and let you guys see if it works. 'Cause remember, this is like you walk into this tower and all of a sudden the music shifts in the real game. So let's try it out. So I'll be right about here. Alright, obviously it doesn't work. You need a different track for that. But just so you guys are aware, if you're not familiar with middleware, it's software that does that for you, that you can attach it to certain moments in the game, and it'll change the EQ or the panning or in and out points. It can do transition music into new tracks like boss battle tracks and whatever. So I would encourage you guys, just as a test, try doing this kind of thing. And in Audacity, which is free, you can just do something like this. And you can, this little effects button, you can then pull open things like EQs and whatever and start playing around. Another thing you could try let's just go back for a second. So if we, if we do this whole high pass filter, because, we're inside. Hold on, because we're inside this little cavern. What we could also do is, as we get closer to the boss, we could actually do panning as well. So we already noticed that the boss was in the left side of the room. So what if, just for fun, we go over here? And what if the music is all coming out of that left room? So this is the kind of stuff you get to do inside middleware, which is so much fun. I'm sure we need to do more videos about that in the future, but yeah, it's like the second step. Whenever you get all the audio files, you throw them into middleware and throw them into the game engine and connect them all. And it's so much fun. So thank you guys for being a part of this today. Again, this is a blend of my 3 worlds: writing music for games, Video Game Music Alliance, doing one of the composing challenges today with Silksong. So for those of you who are in VGMA, get your entries, get your submissions in. Those need to be in by next week, and then we'll do our listening party on Friday as part of the live Q&A. Hope you guys can be a part of that. That is for pro group members only. If you're interested in VGMA, we posted a link earlier. I'm not sure if it's still there. It's way up there at the top. I will post it one more time. Any of you are welcome. We have lots of free resources, such as right there at that link, the Thinkific link. We have a couple free courses, music theory. There's a budget one. There's actually another one. There's how to create video game contact instruments, make your own sample libraries, which is what I do and part of my living. I just do it at a slightly fancier programming level. But yeah, that's the Video Game Music Alliance side of today. And then the third arm is Simple Samples Audio, getting to showcase 2 new libraries today, the Horror Violin, the Horror Cello, which I got to make with some great friends. Yeah, so hopefully one of these things is interesting for you, or all of them are interesting for you. So VGMA guys, get your submissions in. I can't wait to hear what you guys come up with. This was mine for today, and I'll get my video in today, actually. We have a form that you got to submit it with. Yeah, so if you're interested in Simple Samples, horror instruments, go check them out. I think I lost my links. They're in the live chat. You can see them. One last time. There we go. Horror Violin and Cello. They're currently on sale right now. 38% off because they're $49 each. You can go grab those. Get ready for your Halloween horror type scores for next month. Speaking of which, for VGMA folks, we're going to have to do some kind of horror Halloween-esque thing for next month. So hey, grab your horror instruments now while supplies last, even though they're digital and they're infinite. While supplies last. All right, guys. Thanks for being a part of this. It was a lot of fun today.